Gentlemen, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how many updates we have in this video. I think we have like 30 images that we got to go through here, but I'm going to give you every last minute injury update, as well as some trade rumors, as well as maybe some players requesting to get cut. We got a lot to dive into, but before we get into any of it, please go down there, drop a like on this live stream. I mean, you're probably watching this as a video later on, and if you are, that means you are not subscribed to the channel, and make sure you fix your life and go down there and subscribe. And as I set up everything with this live stream, let me stall by telling you, if you want to go check out any of these player props on the side here for tomorrow's games, make sure you go to the link in the comment section, the link in the description of the live stream, the link in the live chat. Go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. And honestly, you just have to. It's free money. When you go and sign up with the link in the comment section and use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So it's free to check out. Even if you're not big into player props, they have weekly best ball draft contests that you can get into. And also, this is why it's a free money, because you're going to get that deposit matched. And on top of it, if we look at only the offering for people with promo code FLOCK. Y'all have no idea how hard I worked to get this for y'all. You have no idea how difficult this is. It's not like this is with any other promo code. Trust me. You are going to get specials from here on out. You know, about a month ago, we had this special with the Cooper Kupp over under half a receiving yard. So just a free bet for anybody who used promo code FLOCK. We are going to have another one of these in week 9. The player's not determined yet, so please go to the comment section. Let me know if you want Josh Allen plus minus half a yard, Derrick Henry over under half a rushing yard. Let me know what you want. But I think that should be about it. Let's go through. Let's dive into these updates. Let's hide these real quick. I apologize about that. Let's go. And oh, yeah, one other thing. Please rush and take the less than 50.5 yards on Khalil Herbert. You know I got to give you my favorite every video because we've been crushing. But let's go over and let's look at what we have with the Tennessee Titans in a week where you have Patrick Mahomes on bye, in a week where you have Justin Herbert on bye. You finally get, in my opinion, a waiver wire quarterback with some real upside. Y'all know I haven't been a big fan of the guys like Geno Smith, Jared Goff coming off the waiver wire this season, because we're looking at them saying, okay, sure, maybe they surprise people and are actual decent real-life NFL quarterbacks. But from a fantasy football perspective, if they don't have rushing upside, hell, you're relying on 300 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns to get there. Count me out. Well, this man here in Malik Willis, no idea if he's going to be good, no idea if he's going to be bad. I have no idea what to expect for the Tennessee Titans and Malik Willis, except what we should expect from a fantasy football perspective. And what we should expect from a fantasy football perspective is a crap ton of fantasy points scored. This is exactly why we are drafting Jalen Hurts back in 2020 in Dynasty Rookie Superflex drafts, that I didn't know if Jalen Hurts was going to be a good real-life quarterback, but we knew if he were to take a start at the NFL level, he could be someone you put in your starting lineup, just given the rushing upside that he possesses. So if you have maybe Patrick Mahomes on bye, have Justin Herbert on bye, go put Malik Willis in your starting lineup, especially in a 4-point passing touchdown league where that rushing upside will matter a little bit more. Of course, Daniel Jones probably still a better option when Daniel Jones had the rushing production last week and has a great matchup going up against Seattle, but Malik Willis has a good one going up against Houston. But now our next guy, David Njoku, ruled out week 8. Not too much to discuss. We all knew this was happening, but with David Njoku, hell, maybe him being out makes it where you can go and play Harrison Bryant, someone that showed some ability a couple years ago in his rookie season. Next update, looks like Brandon Cooks maybe going back to Los Angeles. Who knows if this is true? We've had a lot of people asking in the live streams as of late if they should go through, if they should look to trade for Brandon Cooks because he's going to get moved off the Houston Texans. Hell yes, if he gets moved off Houston and he goes back to Los Angeles, all of a sudden you're in a situation with Brandon Cooks where his fantasy points per target, they're going to go up. I mean, you know that he's going to be in a better offensive environment with more touchdown upside. Can't get much worse than Davis Mills and the Houston Texans, even if I know we have a lot of people rushing to the comment section to go, oh, Davis Mills underrated. Davis Mills not underrated. Davis Mills is bad. But also at the same time, if Brandon Cooks were to get moved off the Houston Texans, if he were to go to a team like the Los Angeles Rams, the targets aren't going to be there. You think he's going to go out there and get over a 25% team target share? There's no way in hell. So honestly, I think it's kind of a lose-lose with Brandon Cooks. You stay on the Houston Texans roster. You have some of the worst quarterback play in the entire NFL and one of the worst offenses in the NFL. You go to a better team like the Rams, and all of a sudden you're in a situation where you're just not getting nearly as many targets. But now our next guy, Ronald Jones, has to be released. I have Ronald Jones in a few best ball leagues that I'm afraid to admit, so hopefully he does get up, but obviously from a real life perspective, it doesn't matter too much. Kareem Hunt, apparently available for a 4th round pick. Hopefully he's traded on Monday. Please let me know what you think in the live chat right now. Where would you rank Nick Chubb if Kareem Hunt were to get traded here? And now our next guy, Jamar Chase, not going on the IR, obviously still not playing on Monday. But if he's not going on the IR, maybe where we were going out there panicking, saying, oh my gosh, 6 weeks, maybe best case scenario. Oh man, is Jamar Chase back in 3? Is he back in 4? I think you should be excited if you're a Chase owner. Now our next guy, Devonte Adams, obviously dealing with the flu. I mean, hell. I don't want to flex on you, Devonte Adams. I don't want to make this a big deal. But do y'all remember in last week's live stream where I showed up and I sounded like this? I couldn't talk. I mean, hell, if I can go out there, if I can give my best flu performance, Devonte Adams can as well. He is going to play. He is Devonte Adams. And he is someone you need to put in your starting lineup. Don't worry too much about it. Darren Waller, don't know if he's going to play. Limited in practice all week. Still going to be someone I'm not too excited about getting in the starting lineup because even before the hamstring injury, the usage wasn't great for Darren Waller. I mean, it was a little concerning here. So I don't necessarily want to run and push Darren Waller into our starting lineup unless maybe you listened to us and you drafted Kyle Pitts. Then, yeah, anything's going to be better. Now our next guy, Deebo Samuel, not going to play. So fire up Christian McCaffrey. If you want Christian McCaffrey this year, if you want him on your team, this is your last chance to trade for him. I think CMC has his best day of the year, probably on Sunday with no Deebo Samuel, because I kind of think Deebo and CMC are comparable players. Whereas when Deebo Samuel is going to be out, those touches across the line of scrimmage are going to be plentiful for CMC. And also Deebo being out, small bump up for Kittle, small bump up for Brandon Ayuk, but you're starting Kittle and CMC regardless. Now our next guy, DK Metcalf, no idea if he's going to play. I would make an argument that he's most likely not going to, and even if he does, I don't know how excited you are to go through and jam him in your starting lineup. Tyler Lockett, also questionable, but this didn't pop up until Friday. I mean, it's hamstring ribs. I don't know. It sounds more like a maintenance thing than anything. I think Tyler Lockett is going to be a must-start guy, assuming that we have no DK Metcalf. But the issue is with Lockett, I mean, hell, he's that West Coast team. Let's see what time the Seattle Seahawks are playing just to see if we are going to have that clarity. Nope, that's what I figured. Yep, they're playing in Seattle. They're playing at 3 p.m. Central. So maybe, just maybe, if you have another very good option next to Lockett, like you have someone that plays at noon, maybe you want to go through and say, okay, well, should I start Devonta Smith or Tyler Lockett? Should I start... Aren't too many good noon receivers. Okay. Should we start player X or Tyler Lockett and he goes at noon? Maybe you give the slight tiebreak over in the direction of player X. But real quick, just so I can annoy you, we are 1 like away from hitting 100 likes on this live stream. Please go down there and hit that like button if you have not done so already. Now our next guy, Allen Lazard, not playing against the Bills. Christian Watson may play. Very similar to Rojo. I have Christian Watson on too many best ball teams. So I'm praying to God that we have Christian Watson good to go on Sunday night. Maybe he's someone that you want to pick up off the waiver wire. In reality, I think Christian Watson's availability is only really going to impact Romeo Doubs, because with Romeo Doubs, if you're in a situation where you have no Allen Lazard, no Randall Cobb, and maybe no Christian Watson, all of a sudden Romeo Doubs does look significantly more appealing. However, if I pull up implied team totals from Las Vegas sportsbooks right now, y'all know we've said this time and time again, Las Vegas knows more than you, knows more than me. They know more than everybody. If someone's out there on YouTube trying to tell you that they can consistently beat Las Vegas Sportsbook, please, just don't listen to them whatsoever. It's a straight up lie. And if we're looking at this, I mean, the Green Bay Packers are supposed to be the 3rd worst offense in the NFL, according to sportsbooks this week, tied with the Washington Commanders, only ahead of the Chicago Bears and Pittsburgh Steelers. Horrible matchup against Buffalo regardless. So it is very, very scary here for Green Bay. But going over to our next one, Ezekiel Elliott most likely going to miss, so Tony Pollard must start guy. Please don't overthink it. Just jam Tony Pollard in. I think you maybe give a slight bump up to Dak Prescott as well, because I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball as much in the second half as they otherwise would. And then with Dalton Schultz, technically questionable. He is probably going to play. I think you probably have to go through and put him in your starting lineup. Very similar to what we just discussed with Dak Prescott, getting a bump up if there's more passing volume, but no Ezekiel Elliott here. I think that could benefit Dalton Schultz. Now our next guy, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is going to play, at least I'm hoping he's going to play. We took the TJ Hawkinson less than 41.5 receiving yards last week, ended up getting burned because Amon-Ra St. Brown went down at the beginning of the game. Taking it again this week, thinking that Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be able to make it through. So with St. Brown, this is a wide receiver that obviously left the game at the very beginning, but he didn't officially have a concussion. Sounded like it was more like protocols, like the Tua Tagovailoa rule. If they see him out there and New York tells him, hey, you got to pull him out, then he's out for the rest of the game. Now, our next guy, TJ Hawkinson, going to be removed from the report. But like we said, I think the less than 41.5 receiving yards on Hawkinson, maybe a little bit appealing on Underdog, because you are looking at this context of the situation with Amon-Ra St. Brown, as well as DeAndre Swift both being back. Significantly worse for TJ Hawkinson. Swift's back, as we just said. You start DeAndre Swift, don't overthink it. I think you got to bench Jamal Williams as well. Now going over to our next guy, Michael Thomas. Speaking of players I have in too many best ball leagues, please, Michael Thomas, come back soon. Please. Okay, so it looks like, there's no timetable on when he is coming back. They're saying that it's going to eventually happen. But in reality, with Michael Thomas, we've seen before that he doesn't care too much about football. Of course, I don't want to speak for the man. I'm just guessing. I'm speaking out of my ass. Based on my perspective, I don't know how much Michael Thomas cares about getting on the field. You can't blame the guy. The man's gotten paid. He's on a 2-5 roster that's going nowhere. His starting quarterback's going back and forth between Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. So if they lose the next 2 weeks, then all of a sudden they fall to 2-7, and you're Michael Thomas, and you're getting paid regardless. My toe's going to be hurting a little bit more. And if that's the case, bump Kamara, bump Olave. But this is going to be something that we have to continue to monitor. Now going over to our next spot, we are going to have Jarvis Landry also out. Don't want to speak on Jarvis too much. Really, you're not playing Jarvis Landry ever. Just does have that small impact for Olave as well as Alvin Kamara. Now our next guy, Jameis Winston getting benched. Another thing, we have Jameis Winston probably in too many underdog best ball teams. Kind of rooting for Dalton to have a bad game this week, and we can get Jameis Winston in. We tweeted out earlier in the week that slowly but surely, Russell Wilson kind of becoming one of my favorite players in the NFL just because it is top tier entertainment. Russell Wilson providing us stories of doing freaking high knees in Wilson's top tier entertainment, but so is this guy. I want Jameis back as the starter soon. I think it would give a bump up to Olave and all the wide receivers and a bump down to Alvin Kamara. So hopefully we get... I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But James Conner not going to play. Hell, just add another little tally to the players I tell you to go through and buy low on. James Conner, Keenan Allen, guys that I think are coming back soon and then end up not. With Conner being out, obviously this makes you initially run over to Eno Benjamin. But one thing I was surprised is Darrell Williams may actually play this week. If Williams plays, I think it makes it a little bit more complicated where it's hard for me to say that, oh my gosh, Eno Benjamin is just a full-blown lock. You got to go through. You have to jam Eno Benjamin into your starting lineup. Darrell Williams may be kind of being a little frustrating here. Next guy, Cam Akers, obviously going to miss, as well as Kyren Williams. Not probably going to play. I don't really care if Kyren Williams is going to play or not, to be honest with you. Kyren Williams is a small and slow running back. I know we're going to have a lot of people in the comment section going, oh, okay, but have you looked at the film? Have you checked the film? Have you watched the TV? Okay, yes, I've seen the TV before. I've seen a Notre Dame game. But if you go through and if you do historical research of running backs that were as small as Kyren Williams, as slow as Kyren Williams, I wrote a 100-page Dynasty Rookie Draft Guide this offseason doing historical analysis, looking at players that fit into this prototype. The running back position's different than wide receiver. Wide receiver, you win with technique. Wide receiver, you can overcome being a slower player. Running back, you never see it. Running back, you can either be small and fast or you can be big and slow. But to be small and slow, it's just not going to work out for you. I think that Darrell Henderson, someone that you can get super cheap right now because Darrell Henderson's not a great running back in his own right. People are completely off of him. I don't think Cody Williams is much different than Malcolm Brown. And obviously, Akers not coming back anytime soon. But now John Dotson not going to play. Dyami Brown looks like he may be playing this week, as well as Logan Thomas. I don't think we're playing any of these guys in our fantasy lineup. But, you know, we said last week, okay, well, Terry McLaurin, not someone I like. But if you have Logan Thomas, Dyami Brown, and Jahan Dotson all missing, all of a sudden, Terry McLaurin's probably someone that you have to play against the Packers. Well, if you have Logan Thomas and Dyami Brown in, I don't necessarily want to sit here and say that it's just as simple as, okay, we don't like Terry McLaurin, but you still got to start him. I mean, I don't know. Now, Chuba Hubbard going to be out, so I think this week, DAndre Foreman going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Hook 'em horns. Even if we're on a bye, you got to go through. You got to jam them in. Super good matchup. No Chuba Hubbard. So DAndre Foreman was a running back I was previously saying, you know what? Not a massive fan of because, while, of course, he has a place in my heart, he is stuck in one of the worst offenses in the NFL. He's in a pseudo running back by committee playing alongside Chuba Hubbard. But now, perfect matchup. He has all the opportunity in the world. Even if it's one of the worst offenses in the NFL, I think you probably got to go through. You probably got to play DAndre Foreman. And what you also have to do is go down there, drop a like on the live stream. We are 2 likes away from hitting 200 likes on the stream. Our next, I guess that may have been it. So thank you, of course, everyone. Make sure you go check out these props over there on Underdog Fantasy. You can find the link in the live chat, find it in the comment section, find it in the description. When you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and use promo code FLOCK, they're going to match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100. So it's essentially free to check out. Available in damn near every single state. And on top of this, I worked my ass off. You know, a month ago, we had the Cooper Cup over under half a receiving yard. That free bet for everybody who used promo code FLOCK. Well, we are going to have 2 more this season. The next one is going to be week 9. I don't know if it's going to be Cooper Cup. Please let me know in the comment section what player you want it to be. Do you want it to be an over-under half a rushing yard for Derrick Henry? Do you want it to be over-under half a passing yard for Patrick Mahomes? Let me know in the comment section. For people who use promo code FLOCK on Underdog this week, they are going to have that available to them in week 9, but only with promo code FLOCK. If you sign up for Underdog with a different promo code, I'm sorry, you're not going to get that free bet. My favorite bet on Underdog this week is actually going to be the Khalil Herbert, less than 50.5 total yards. But thank you again. I appreciate all of you so damn much. I'm going to be live again later tonight going through all your fantasy football questions. So thank you. Hope you have a great Saturday. I will see you tonight. Maybe we'll go live around 8 p.m. I don't know. But just make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have that bell hit, and I'll see you there. Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday if you're not able to come out to the live stream tonight.